Alright! Welcome everyone to a Minecraft update showcase video. And today we're showcasing 1.10 pre-release 1, which is the first pre-release to Minecraft 1.10, which is going to add a whole bunch of new things. And we'll get to those later in the video, but for now, let's get on with the showcase. First we have some new splash texts. Rule number 1, it's never my fault. Replaced molten cheese with blood, absolutely fixed relatively broken coordinates, and boats FTW. Next we have a new feature in controls actually. It's an auto jump. Personally, I don't like it because it sometimes cuts off your sprinting. Like you just saw right there, I jumped over the command blocks and I kept sprinting, but then I hit the grass and it stops my sprint. So actually, in order to turn this off, you have to go to options, controls, and then auto jump is right here. I just flick it to off. A new falling dust particle has been added to the game, and you'll see it when I start to drop a bunch of sand. Yep, you'll see it right there. That's the falling dust particle. It applies to any block affected by gravity except dragon eggs. A new teleport command has been added, which allows you to teleport around entities. So, for example, in order to teleport every single cow in the world to me, I'm going to do /teleport, and not that, @e, type equals cow, then close, and then this, and this. These basically are relative position. So ready? I'm gonna hit enter. Oh god! Oh god, that's a lot of cows. Oh god. A few NBT tags have been added. The first one is fall flying, and this allows mobs to have an elytra basically attached to them. You don't see the elytra, and they also really can't tell it's there because as soon as mobs hit the ground, they lose the ability to fly. So this mob does have a fall flying NBT tag, but it's going to hit the ground and die, unfortunately. Then the second NBT tag we have here is zombie type. And this ranges from 0 through 6. You'll see at the beginning one, zombie type is 0. And at the end one here, zombie type is 6. And if I press this button, it's going to generate all the different types of zombies, all the different types of zombie villagers, and the husk, which is a new mob that I'll get to in later. Boom. Oh god. Interesting. Don't know why that's not working. You know why? Because for some reason, it's not always active. Let's try that again. There we go! There's all of them. Next we have an F3 command. F3 and G shows your chunk borders. And so these red lines that you see are the borders of every single chunk. These yellow lines are the borders of, I believe, every 2x2 blocks, and this goes all the way up to, I believe, the height limit, maybe higher, probably the height limit, and it goes all the way down to bedrock. The blue line outlines the chunks horizontally. So these are horizontal lines. Chunks are 16 by 16 by 16. They're not 16 by 16 and go all the way up to the height limit. They're 16 by 16 by 16. So I'm actually in a different chunk here than if I fly up to here. So these are just the horizontal chunk lines. To get rid of it, you just do F3 and G again, and now your chunk borders are hidden. So now we're going to start getting into the blocks. And the first block is actually generated in the world. It's not actually one block. It's composed of two. You have the bone blocks, which are new, which I'll get to later. Way down there, you see that? And then there's the coal block, and these actually generate fossils. And they're supposed to be like fossils. They generate underground in deserts, swamplands, and those biome variations, and each of those chunks in those biomes has a 1 in 64 chance of generating a fossil. And basically they're supposed to be fossils of like ancient dead creatures that millions and millions of years ago ruled the land of Minecraftia. But when the great blocky meteor crashed down upon this infinite world, I should say almost infinite, these creatures died off and gave birth to a new wave, such as the player. Well, that's a story for a different day. Anyway, these fossils, they're really not that useful. I mean, you can get the bone blocks from them and craft them back into bone meal, which I'll go over later. And then there's just coal. But also, if I will try to find a video of me flying around one, and I'll put that on the screen right now. If not, then I'll just put pictures of what these fossils look like, since they are fairly hard to find because it's only a 1 in 64 chance of having it spawn in the chunk. Here we have the most powerful set of blocks in this new update. We have the structure blocks and the structure void. Now, if you're familiar with MCEdit or World Edit, you'll know what a schematic file is, or you'll probably know what a schematic file is. A schematic file is basically, it saves a set of blocks so that you can export it out of one of your Minecraft worlds and import it into another one. And you normally had to do it through MCEdit or World Edit if you wanted to do that, but now these blocks allow you to import and export these schematic files in the game itself. So, unfortunately, MCEdit just kind of lost one of its important features. However, you can still use it for other things, don't worry. But anyway, these 4 blocks, I don't really know what they do. You can probably find in-depth tutorials on them, on how to use them, on YouTube. But save, load, corner, and data, they each perform a different task in setting up your schematic file. These structure void blocks basically make it so that air is not saved as a block, and you have to put this wherever you want air not to be saved. These next few blocks generate in the nether, the first of which being the magma block, and it's crafted using 4 magma cream. When you put this in a crafting table, you get 1 magma block. Mobs and players take a half heart of damage every time they touch it, so if I go here, I'm going to slowly die, and I really don't want to actually kill myself. The death message is actually player discovered floor was lava. Remember that game you used to play as kids, The Floor is Lava? Yeah, well now, mobs will not walk onto it, and most mobs don't spawn in it, and the exceptions are magma cubes, squids, and zombie pigmen. I highly doubt you'll find squids spawning in these naturally, and then they're... So if the player is actually sneaking, he doesn't get injured. And then the same goes for wearing... or for having a fire resistance effect, or wearing Frostwalker enchanted armor, you will not be harmed by these magma blocks. And when you put water, it's actually going to remove the blocks every so once in a while in a random tick. It's somewhat strange, but you'll see eventually that these blocks get randomly removed, or the water gets randomly removed. It just goes tss, and the water above the block gets removed. Do it. Please? Oh, there we go. Ha! There we go. Anyway, I'm going to collect that water now so that it doesn't. And then, last but not least, if we do weather, if we make it rain, you see smoke particles start to come off of this block. And we're going to turn it back because I don't want rain in the middle of my tutorial. This next block is called the nether wart block. And guess what it's made out of? Wow, you won't say. 3x3 square of nether warts in a crafting table will give you the nether wart block. And it used to actually be in a previous snapshot that when you place water near it, they would break, but enough players must have just complained that they removed that feature. And actually, unlike the bone block, which I'll get to in a second, it cannot be crafted back into nether wart. So if you put this in a crafting table and expect to get your 9 nether wart back, you're not going to get it back. So I actually honestly don't really know the applications of this. Maybe it's a cool aesthetic block, but I'm not sure. Next we have the red nether brick, and it's crafted by placing a 2x2 like checkerboard pattern of nether bricks and nether wart, and you get the red nether brick. That's it. As I've referenced multiple times previously in this showcase, this is the bone block. And actually, it is affected like wood by the way you place it. And it's crafted by filling a 3x3 square of bone meal in a crafting table, and you get your bone block back. However, if you put this in a crafting table, unlike the nether wart blocks, you do get your bone meal back. And this is found underground in the biomes that I said earlier, deserts and such, as part of the fossil structure. Just went and hopped into the nether to give you guys an idea about how these magma blocks generate. Also, before, you can see these falling dust particles. This is actually a much better representation than what I was trying to give you earlier. However, if I break one of these, I believe all of them not attached to or not above netherrack will fall. So anyway, they only generate in lower levels of the nether, but there is a lot of it. So it actually will make your nether treks much more dangerous. There's actually only one set of new items in this update, and that is that there are 7 new spawn eggs now. We now have spawn eggs for the wither skeleton, mule, skeleton horse, zombie horse, and actually zombie horses and skeleton horses both have babies now. Then we move on to donkey, cat, and the elder guardian. All of these guys now have spawn eggs, and that's a bug. So you might want to go get that checked out. And now we move on to most people's most anticipated part of this video. The new mobs added in this update. And there are actually 3 new mobs added. The first of which is the polar bear. And these guys generate as neutral mobs in ice plains, ice mountains, and ice plains spikes. They will actually not attack you if you don't attack them. However, if they have their cub with them, things start to get a little bit interesting. They will attack you. They will attack me. If their cubs are around, oh god, oh my god, he's coming. See, actually, he rears up on his hind legs like that. I don't want him to kill me because he actually deals a lot of damage. They can actually, I believe adults can swim faster in water than you, so you actually can't, you really can't swim faster than them. And so I'm actually going to kill the cub, and I'm just going to show you how much health this guy has. That is a lot of health. And, so when killed, it has a 75% chance of dropping 0 to 2 raw fish, or, I got lucky, it's a 25% chance of dropping 1 to 2 salmon. So, the second mob added in this update is called the Stray. And if you'll notice, it looks like a skeleton, but it looks cold. Very cold, almost frozen even. And that's because 80% of skeletons spawned above ground in ice plains, ice mountains, and ice plain spikes biomes will be strays. And all skeletons that spawn that do not have a direct view of the sky will be the 20% normal skeletons. Also, spiders spawning. Hey, look, there's one over there. Spiders spawning in these biomes have a chance of being a stray jockey. That's not the official name, but I'm just going to call it a stray jockey. So it acts like a regular skeleton, except that it shoots, when it shoots actually, tipped arrows of, it should start shooting me, tipped arrows of slowness right there. And now you'll see I'm infected with slowness, 30 seconds. And so, also, last but not least, when it dies, that's not a good example. When it dies, it's the same drops as a skeleton, so rare bow, and then the typical bones and arrows, but it also has a chance of dropping, it has a 50% chance of dropping, there we go, 50% chance of dropping an arrow of slowness. The third and final mob added in the 1.10 update is called the husk. And if you'll notice, this guy looks like a zombie, but, well, he looks very hot, even sweltering. And that's because 80% of zombies spawned above ground in desert and desert hills biomes will be husks. And, like the strays, all spawns where the zombie does not have a direct view of the sky will be normal zombies and not husks. So it behaves mostly like a regular zombie. However, time set day. This is what makes them so dangerous. If you'll notice over there, that zombie's burning. Husks do not burn in the daylight. It can also spawn as a baby or chicken jockey, and when it attacks, it gives you hunger. And so I'm inflicted, I believe that was 5 or 10 seconds of hunger. And last but not least, it is 2 pixels taller than a zombie. These guys are huge. Watch out. Deserts and desert hills just became much more dangerous. So now I'm going to get into all the changes added in the 1.10 update, and the first of which is the no gravity NBT tag has been expanded from just working on armor stands to now working on all entities. So, if you look up here, this cow has no gravity. So if I hit it, it responds actually by moving sideways. It will not drop because it has no gravity. It just moves sideways. Similarly, this allows for airboats. Unfortunately, you can turn them left and right, but unfortunately, you can't go up and down with them. This is not Archimedes ships. This is like Archimedes horizontal plane square ships. Yeah. The TP command can now teleport players more than 500 toll blocks. The limit has been increased from 512 to 4096. Oh god! Oh, we're going to be falling for quite a while. Huge mushrooms now have a 1 in 12 chance of generating twice as tall as they normally would, and this can be through just normal chunk generation or being planted by players. So I just flew over, and this is a perfect example. When I loaded up this world in 1.10, this is a fresh new 1.10 world. It has not been loaded in 1.9, so this is a prime example. This is a special 1 in 12. There is a new type of abandoned mineshaft that generates in mesa biomes, and all of the mesa biome variants, and pictures of this abandoned mineshaft should already be coming up on screen. There have been many changes applied to villages, including the all-new zombie village, which has a 2% chance of being a village with all zombie villagers in it. There are no doors or torches in the village, and they are all zombie villagers. For more information on all of these changes of the villages, if you want to go read them all for yourself, a link to the Minecraft wiki page for the Minecraft 1.10 update will be in the description of the video. Rest in peace, the endstone brick recipe. It used to be that if you put 4 endstone in a 2x2 pattern in a crafting table, you would get endstone bricks, but this recipe has been removed. So another feature is that dispensers equip shields onto entities, but I can't seem to get it to work. Like where did the shield just go? What? Okay, now the shield totally disappeared, so this is a bugged feature right now. Chorus fruit can now teleport riders from their mounts, so I actually have to go into game mode S to do this. So the chorus fruit, when I eat it, will teleport me off of the pig. No harm done to the pig. The same goes for ender pearls. Oh god. Well, I'll go back and you'll see that the pig is fine. Voila! The pig is unscathed. The recipe for firework rockets now yield 3 rockets instead of 1. Fishing rods can now pull items to you. So if you drop this totally cool item on the ground, we right-click it, we step back, we right-click it again. The feature's still a little buggy, but it actually... Oh, there we go! The item was just pulled to me. Let's do it one more time, actually. Just so you can all see. Ah, there we go! Numerous changes to mobs as well. All mobs that shoot projectiles can now shoot them on boats. Endermen can now rarely spawn in the nether. The rate of spawning is actually 1 out of 153, as compared to 100 over 153 for zombie pigmen. So they're 100 times rarer in the nether than zombie pigmen. Magma cubes now spawn about twice as often as they did before. And skeletons, actually, holding a tipped arrow in their offhand and a bow in their main hand, will actually now shoot that type of arrow. So actually, I have a command right here, and so the texture is a little bit bugged, but the arrow in that other hand is a tipped arrow of leaping. So if I go into game mode S, he should start shooting leaping arrows at me. Ah, there we go. You can see the potion effects off of that arrow. Apparently it's a bug now, or just an unimplemented feature, where the arrow does not, the tipped arrow that hits the player does not apply that potion effect to the player, but you definitely saw those particles coming through the air from those arrows, especially from the glitch texture. You know, you couldn't tell. You might want to get that checked out. It's like enveloping all of your body. So that's a bug. Maybe that'll be fixed in a future snapshot / pre-release of Minecraft 1.10. So this concludes the review of Minecraft 1.10 pre-release 1. Added a whole bunch of things, changed even more things. Actually, way in the distance over there, you can kind of see right above my head, those are the fence cages where I tested those 3 new mobs. So anyway, if you enjoyed this sort of thing, please leave a like and subscribe for more of this type of content. Please especially leave comments that you want to see more of these snapshot / pre-release reviews. And hopefully 1.10 is coming out pretty soon. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the latest zombie horse somehow escaped. What? Strange. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye! I'll just sail away on my boat. Woo, yeah, bye.